Hello future designers, welcome to today's lesson on the UI UX training. They're doing this interface. Okay, so this interface. So today we'll be starting with this, and then with time we'll move to this frame or this screen. Okay, so that said, firstly what we would want to do is to get the icons down, and then some text. Okay, or let's do that of the icons first, and then we can just start the project. So if you log into Figma, you would you'll see this interface, and then you have to click on new design. Okay, new design file. So you click on this, and then it's going to open the working environment or the working space for you. So that said, let's go and then select the frame. So I'm going to select this and then click on frame. Okay, so I'm going to choose the iPhone Pro Max. Okay, so this frame, and then let's see. So let's use this. Let me check here. This should be what. So contact information. So I'm going to rename here to contacts. Let me just do contacts info. Contact info. Okay, and then what I would do next is to get the icons down. Okay, so we need a chevron, and then this more. Okay, the ellipsis. So what I'll do is I'll just right click, and then I'll go to plugins. Okay, so from our previous lessons we learned how to install plugins. Okay, so if you've not installed plugins, you would have to go to manage not is it manage plugins or browse plugins. Okay, a moment. Okay, so you have browse plugins where you would have to you learn to install the plugins, but we already have done that. So I have the material design icon and then the iconify, which was taught in the previous lessons. Okay, the Lutify wouldn't be using that, but it's an interesting project or plugin that you might want to use. So that said, I'll use material icons, or let's start with iconify. So with the iconify on our contact page, you can see we have what the WhatsApp icon and then the Telegram icon. So I'm going to search. Okay, so WhatsApp. So WhatsApp. So you just type here WhatsApp, and I'm going to click this. Okay, so let me see. I'll just click on import icon. So icon should be, or the icon should be on my screen. Okay, so this is the icon, and then I'll do same for that of Telegram. So iconify, then I'll search for Telegram, press enter, and I'll click on this. Okay, then imports icon. Okay, so it's imported. Okay, so I'm going to put this, sorry, Control Z. Okay, so highlight all and then move them. Okay, okay, and then I need the ellipsis. So you need the chevron and then the this ellipsis. Okay, so I'll use that of the, you can get that in material icons and then iconify, but let's use that of material icon. So let's wait for it to load. Okay, so it's taking a while to load. So while it loads, let's just try some. If you look here, you can see the icons we selected. You can see they seems to be separated. Okay, so to make them one object, you can just highlight all. Okay, and then just use Ctrl G to group, or you can right click and then use look for group. There's group. Okay, so have I grouped them? Okay, so I haven't grouped them. So let me group. Okay, so now they become one object, and then I can resize them evenly. Okay, so we are going to do same for that of WhatsApp, so you can see what is happening here. So I'll highlight all and then I'll group them. So group selection, and then now I can move them as one object or component. Okay. So our material design icon isn't still loading. Let's try that for the last. There's no loading. Iconify and search for something. Okay, so it's back. So I'm going to type here chevron. Okay, so we want this, so just let me change the size first. So I'm going to change the size to this because I'll resize them later. And then you can also change the color. Let's give it this color value. Okay, then I'll just drag it here. Okay, and then we want that for the more, so more, which is going to give us the 3 ellipses. So we want this one too. Okay, so I'm going to drop it here. And then we want that of let's see, the message, phone, and then the this one, the email, and then that's of the floating action button, and then the search. Okay, so I'm going to do that quick. So search. Okay, so we have search, and then I'll take that off the email. Okay, so email. Then let's look for phone. So search for phone. So phone, let me take this. Okay, let me just move the here. Then I'm going to search for message. Okay, so you have the message, and then let's search for the add button. So add, is going to give us our floating action button, so just here. Okay, so I can close you now, and our interface looks some. Okay. Would just leave them that let's leave them that way, or better, so we can just highlight all and then resize them. Okay, so I'm just going to hold on shift and alt and then resize them. Oops, what is happening? Control Z. Okay. Okay, so let me just resize them even individually. The file has some save changes. So. Okay, so let's leave it this way. So now, if you look here, okay, you would see we have the chevron, and then we have the text. That's how the more icon. So this actually is just the background color of the frame. So what I would do is, and then let's do this. So there's just a line. Okay, so as you see, it's a line. So I'm going to have to pick a line. Okay, so just a line, and then let's draw from somewhere this place. Okay, so to get a perfect, or to make sure your line is straight, you can hit on shift. Okay, so you can see when I leave shift, it's not straightened. So when I hit shift, it's straightened. Okay, and then I'm going to give it a height of 1. What is happening? Yeah, okay, so not a height. Okay, it's already set to 1, and then also here it's already set to 1, and then I'll give it a color. So it says stroke. Okay, the color value of this, we already have this color, so I'll just pick this rather. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so hello future designers, welcome to today's lesson on the UI UX training. Okay, and then we'll do that of the chevron, but if you notice, our chevron here is black. Okay, so I'm going to change it to black. Okay, so let's give it a dark color. You can take it down. Okay, and then let's leave it here. So that's my color for the dark. Okay, then I'm going to resize it. So while holding shift and alt, I'll resize it. Okay, so I think this size is okay. And let me see. Okay, so 38. So 38. That's 58. Okay, so to be able to get these dimensions or these values, you just hold Alt, and you can see I'm holding on Alt, which is why it's giving me the dimensions when I. So let me just see. So 43, I can still be hit the up arrow to get the 38. Okay, so I'm leaving my to 38 and then here 30. Okay, and then what next is to use the text to get the contacts. Okay, so the text tool, and I'm going to type, let's say, contacts. So I'll increase the size to, let's say, 64 is too big. Give it 18. Okay, that's quite small. Okay, it's 36. Okay, so 36 is okay, and then I'll just leave it to this side. And now we'll have to work on this. So the ellipse or the more icon, we have it here. So I'm just going to drag it here, and then I'll give it the color value. So when I click on this, I'm going to pick the eyedropper, and then okay, so we already have the color value here, so I'll just use this. Oops, select this. Okay, let me see the size, 15 by 24. Okay, so I'm just going to hold Alt, then drag it and resize it. It's still big. Okay, so they are all sitting on the same. See if this is on the same base. Okay, so let's try bringing this down. Okay, so I'm going to multi-select while holding on shift to select, then I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so let me use Alt and then see it distance 43. Let me take it out so that reach 38. So 38 is okay. And then let me see, the font size is Roboto. Okay, so Roboto regular. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me do Roboto bold. This is a different, this new Nito. So let me click on it. Okay, so new Nito. Okay, but let's use Roboto. I'm going to use Roboto. Let's use or let's try the new Nito. Okay, Nito, is it bold? Okay, the style is normal. So normal. So I'm going to change it to normal. So normal. Better still, let's leave it at bold. I can see the normal, so let's leave it at bold. Okay, and then I'm going to ensure that this they have the same distance. Okay, so let me see Alt from here to here is 30, and then let me click here from here, so 35. So what I can do is I'm just going to use the arrow key to move it back so that I get 30. Okay, so it's now 30. Okay, and here too is 30. So remember, I hold, okay, while my hand was on Alt, okay, and this selected, I was able to move this to get 30, so that because this place is also 30. Okay, so 103, the gap here, and then here is 96. Okay, so we can align them using so let's multi-select, then I'm going to align them using this. Okay, so align vertical centers. Okay, so you saw it moved in a way, but let's see if it works. So what happened is align them so that they appear to be well positioned. So if I hold on Alt and I'll check this 141 and then here's 140. I can leave it this way. Okay, let's leave it this way, and then let's go to our next, which is this. Okay, so with the ellipse, I'm going to select the ellipse tool. So I'll select the ellipse tool while holding on shift. So I'll just draw, and this size is okay. So my radius is okay. Okay, so this size is okay. Okay, then let me see the distance. So let's see, 32. Okay, so this 23. Let's leave it this way. Okay, so we this is actually something that we are looking on to, so we might not use the exact measurements. Okay, with the icon, you can get an icon from Unsplash or any other site. Okay, so I have to take this down because here is going to contain the names. Okay, so to do that, let me go to let's see the name. So just so to waste time, okay, to make things short, I'm just going to copy the name. Sorry, I'm going to copy the name. Okay, then I'll paste it here. I copy this too. So just Control C and then Control V. Okay, and then paste it here. Okay, so this is quite okay. Or if better say, if you want to type, okay, remember this is a neonito, is semi-bold 20, and then this should also be neonito regular is 16. Okay, so as you can see on the property panel, I think it's well centered. Okay, just centered. Okay, the gap seems to be, there's too much gap, so let me multi-select them. Okay, I'm going to take it up a bit. So there. Okay. So I'm going to have to pause here. Okay, and then I'll continue in the next lesson. Okay, so or better still, let's look for an image to fill this part. Okay. Okay, so to get an image, I went to pixabay.com and then I'm going to right click on this. Okay, so choose any image, just right click and then look for what? Copy image. Okay, please not copy image address or copy link, use copy image. So I'll click on this and then I'm going to Figma. Okay, while this is highlighted, my ellipse is highlighted, I can just use paste here. So you can see it's resize itself, position itself. Okay, if you don't like it, okay, what you can do is just double click and then you can, sorry, Control Z. Okay, so I thought you'll be able to move the image inside. Okay, but I just discovered something interesting. Look at what is happening here. Okay, so if you like to do something like this, I don't know, maybe it might come in handy in a project. Wow, it's interesting. Okay, so just when you click on this, you can see this arc. Okay, when you click and then it's giving me something interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it here. Okay, so this is quite okay. So you can see I type my name and then Accra, but I don't think they are well aligned. So what I can do is just multi-select. Okay, with the help of the shift key, I'm going to select them, or I can just highlight them and then align horizontal centers. Okay, so I think they are now well aligned, and then I'm going to move them up. Okay, so this distance is okay. So thank you guys, and then I'll see you in the other lessons. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so welcome to the continuation of the UI UX project that we started previously. Okay, so here I'm going to have to take this up. Okay, okay, to this side. Okay, so this is quite okay, and then you might want to preview what you've done so far. But this, remember, this the line tool or the line shape or component. So I'm going to increase this to 2 So one interesting thing about widget, you can actually type 2 here. Well, let's see. I'm going to do 8 divided by 4. Okay, so 2. Okay, so maybe you can also do some simple calculations here. Okay, so now I'm going to pick the rectangle tool, and then at this point, okay, just right below the line tool, I'm going to draw. Okay, and then leave this here. Let me even take it down. Okay, so use Control plus plus to zoom in so that you're able to snap this a bit. So let me snap it to it's okay. And then I'm going to have to change this color. So let me go here, and then this color. So this color, this is the color value or the color code, hash code, and then I'm going to paste it in the fill parts. So Control V, press enter. Okay, so it has picked that for us. Okay, bring it down. Then let me Control minus. Let's see what we have here. Okay, there's some percentage here, so let me see here. Okay, remember, okay, when you go here, you can see we have the percentage like 20%. So I have to go and change here to 20%. So just you can see it's 100. So I'm going to change it to 20. Okay, so now we have the actual color that we want. Okay, so what we can do now is to check this. So we need to do the mobile, the phone number, and then these icons. So first of all, we would have to do this, the background components. Okay, so to do that, we would have to use the ellipse tool. So the ellipse tool, and then I'm just going to draw here. So while holding on shift as usual, draw a perfect circle, and then I'm going to change this color to white. Okay, and then now you can see, if you zoom in carefully, you see that it has some drop shadow. So Control plus, you can see it has. So I'm going to do that. So I'll go to my effects, and then drop down is already selected. So I'll click on the effect settings, and then I'm going to change my spread, or let me change my Y to 0. Okay, and then I'll change this spread to, let's say, 2. Okay, and then my blur, I can put my blur at should I use 8 or 5? Okay, so now you can see we have some shadows here. See, we have the shadow. Okay, which makes it appear as if it's projecting out of the screen. As you can see here too, we do have the shadow. So now we would have to pick the icon. So let's use that of the message first. So I'm going to pick this first. Then I'm going to resize it. So while holding on Alt and Shift, I'll just resize it inwards. So move it inwards. So 32 by 32. Then let me paste it. I would have to right click because it was picked earlier. Okay, so I'll have to right click, arrange, and then bring to front. So let me look for arrange, and then I'll have to bring it to front. So bring to front. Okay, so it's now in front. I don't think it's well aligned, so I can just highlight all and then try to align it. Okay, so align it vertically, and then let me align it here too. Okay, so now it's aligned. I can just copy this, Control C, Control V, and then move it, and then I'm going to do that for the phone. Okay, for the phone, also have to right click and then bring to front. Okay, so let me resize it first. We need 32 by 32. Okay, so 32 by 32, right click, arrange, and then bring to front. So bring to front. Okay, let me see, this is also 32 by 32. Okay, right, it changed to 24. Okay, let me do it here, 32 by 32. Okay, and I can highlight all and then arrange, let me highlight all and then align vertical and then here too. Okay, let me try and delete this font. Okay, so let me just take this thing and then delete it. Okay, so control minus our, so remember to group them. So highlight this and then group, control G to group, so it becomes one object. I'm going to highlight this too and then control G to group this. And then now let's see the other. Okay, so we have to do that for the email. Okay, so since we already control C and copied this, I can still use control V to paste it. Okay, so it's already stored in memory, so I'll just use control V to paste it. And then I'm going for the mail. So the email, I can just do the 32 by 32 here and then change it to also 32. Okay, then I'm just going to move it, then right click, arrange, and then bring to front. Okay, but it looks stretched. Okay, looks stretched, so let me just do it this way. So I think I like it this way. I like it this way, so it's well centered. Okay, so I'm just going to group, control G. Okay, so now we have the icons for the email, the phone, and then the message. Okay, okay, so let's see what we can do now. Is there any icon? Okay, so hello everyone, so welcome to the continuation of our previous lesson. Now we will be working with the text tool. So to do that, I'm going to have to select the text and then I'm going to type, let me see what we have first, mobile. Okay, so mobile. Okay, so mobile. And then let me see the font type. The font type is normal, Neonito normal. Neonito normal. So let me change it to normal. If you don't have normal, I'm going to use regular. Okay, so I'll use regular. Do I have, so this semi-bold, this is, okay, so let me use semi-bold, okay, so that we have some consistency. Okay, so I'm going to change here to semi-bold. Okay, and then this is normal. The color is okay. Okay, so I can just use this. Okay, Control C, Control V, and bring it here. And I'm going to change its color. What happened? I can't see why it's not, so let me just undo, Control Z to undo. Okay, so let me just Control V, then I'm going to move it here. Then let me change its color to a gray color. So let's use the gray color. Okay, so let's see the text is regular. Okay, so let's leave it as regular. Then I'm going to change, let me see, this font size is 20, so I'll change this to 20. Okay, and this is 16. Okay, so let me bring this here. Then I'm going to change it, let's give it any number, so plus 233. Let's use any number of our choice. Okay, so this, okay, so any dummy number, but let me align this. Okay, so I want it to start just behind this, so just behind this, so I'm going to bring you here and then I'm going to also bring this here. Okay, now let's work once. Okay, So first, let me take this up a bit. So let me multi-select and then use the up arrow key to take it up. So this is okay. The distance here while holding on Alt. So 24. So 24 is okay. And then let me just bring this here. Let's see. So here, okay. So for me, I would want my icon to be here. Okay. So I'm going to move this icon here. And then let me see here what we have. So we have two icons. So I'm going to resize them. I'm going to resize this. So while holding on Alt and Shift, I'm going to resize it. Okay. So this is okay. So I'll bring it here. And then I'll do same for the, is it a phone? It should be a phone. Okay, so a phone. Let's resize it. But okay. So first, let me check if the size. So 36, okay, and this one too is 36. Let me make it touch the edge. So multi-select and let me make it touch the red ruler. Okay. Okay. So this okay. It's okay, and then let me check the height. Okay, I want them to be in the same height as the mobile. Okay, so I'm going to take it down. So the two of you are going to go down. Okay, then let me see what we have here. Okay, so this okay. So what is left is just for us to Control C, duplicate all this. Okay, so we'll do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay, so let's do that in the next lessons. Okay, so lesson. Thank you. So hello everyone. So welcome to the continuation of our previous lesson. Now what we are going to do is, as I said, we are just going to be working with the text and then we'll do some simple shapes too. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do. We are just trying to populate the screens with the email and the email address, and then we'll do something on this, and then we'll try and add the Telegram and WhatsApp icons. Okay, so let's proceed. So I am going to multi-select this. Okay, so let me check first. Email and phone number. So let me just multi-select. Okay, then Control C, Control V. So, and then I'll use the down arrow key with the help of the Shift key to move this. Okay. So I think this distance is quite okay. Okay, the gap is quite okay. I'm going to take this out. Let me see. So while holding on Alt, I'm going to check the distance. So it's 15. So 15. Okay, so the distance from the mobile to this text is 15, and I'm going to change this to email. Okay, then I'll give it a dummy email. So a dummy email. So let me just use GTL at GhanaTechLab.com. Okay, and then I'll have to change the icon. So let me just take this out. Then I'm going to bring this here. Remember the size here is 36 by 36. Okay, so for consistency sake, I'm going to change this to 36. So I can just resize it here, or so I can just input the values here. So 36. Change here to also 36. Okay. Then I'm going to align it just so it aligns with this. Okay, so let's make it touch it. Okay, so it's well aligned. And then what else to do is to, let me see the gap here. This one is 22, ours is 15. Now we have the groups uniference. Okay, so let me just increase the distance a bit. So just okay. Now let me check the distance between them. Okay, so 19. Okay, so let's use 19. Now we need that of the groups. Okay, so just this, Control C, Control V, then Let's see. $26. So here is 19. So let me check here too. 26. So let me move it up. Should be 19. Okay, so 19. So while holding on Alt, I use the up arrow key to move it up. Okay, so that I could see the changes as it's I move. Okay, we don't need this, so I'll delete this, and then I would check here. So we have uniframes. Okay, so with the uniframes, sorry, we need this. So I'm just going to change. Really, let me check. See, so it's called groups uniframes. So groups. So groups. And then here is uniframes, uni friends, or let's do it UI friends, UI friends. Okay, and then okay, so now let's do that of this. Okay, account linked. So I'm going to do this shape and then account link. As usual, we'll use the rectangle tool, and then I'm going to draw from this end. Okay, and this size is okay. So I'm using 48 by 50. Okay, let's see the distance. Okay, so you just close. So I'm going to take it up. So 19 is okay. So I'll leave it at 19, okay, for consistency's sake. And then I'm going to change it to white. Okay. And now we need to give it the text account linked. But remember there's a drop shadow, but this shadow is actually a line. So it's a line. What you can do is just control C this line. Okay, the line that we have here. Okay, so let me just zoom in and then click, then control C, control V, and then use the down arrow key to move it down. Okay, so while holding on shift, I'm going to make it move down faster. Okay, let me zoom in to see if it's perfectly at the position I want. Okay, so I think it's there. Okay, so okay, so now I'm going to just select this, control C, control V, and then bring it down, and then change its name. Remember, since I picked it first, I have to bring it to front. So bring to front. So right click and bring to front, and then I'll change it to accounts linked. Is it linked accounts or accounts linked? Linked. Let's check. So it's accounts linked. Okay. So accounts linked. So the L is caps. Okay. Then let me just try and center it. So okay. So it's centered. Okay. So it's centered. Okay, and really, let me bring it out. Okay, and now we have to do that of the Telegram, WhatsApp, and then the icons. So account linked. Let me see. So they seem to be. So text size is 16, normal. I'm going to change mine to here's 20. Let me see. This is 20. This also is 20. Okay, so let's leave this to 20. And now we have to do that of the Telegram and then WhatsApp. So Telegram, WhatsApp. So let's take this text, Control C, Control V. And I'm going to bring it down. So while holding on Alt, let me check, see the distance. Okay, let me see the distance. So Alt, and then mine is 25. So 25. Okay, so let's leave it at 25. And then I'm going for my Telegram icon. Okay, you should have this by now. Remember, that was the first thing we did, okay, to pick our icons. Okay, then I'm going to resize it to 36. So 36, then 36. Okay, then I'm going to make sure it's aligned with this. Okay, okay, so 36 by 36. First, let me check here. 27 by 27. This what? So here 7 by 27, but we are using 36 by 36. It's okay. And then I'll just Control C, Control V this, and I'm going to bring it down. And I'll change it to WhatsApp. Or is it now? Okay, so WhatsApp, not Meta. WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Okay. Let's see the distance. Okay, so just for your reference, so I'm also going to do here 19 since the distance. So here the gap between this is what? 19. So let me just do that of 19 for this two. So let me just take it up. Okay, so 19. Okay. And then I'll go for the WhatsApp logo. Where's WhatsApp? We should have these two. And I'll change it to what? 36. So 36, press enter. Change here to also 36. Okay. So let's bring it, let's make sure it's in line. Okay. Okay, so here there seems to be a good number of gap here. You can do that, okay, or let me see if this is, so that's okay. You can do that, or we can also just try to give it enough space. So while holding on Alt, let me move it. Sorry, well, so multi-select, and I'm going to move it down to give them some small gap. Okay, and now our gap is let's say, so 39. Okay, so 39. Okay, so we just have the more options. Simple. So we're just going to copy this. So Control plus plus, select this. Okay, so let me zoom in so that I'll be able to select this. So you notice I'm unable to select the line. Okay, so what I can do is I can just come here, and since I didn't rename it, but I can see with experience I know what's the line I'm looking for. Remember, we have two lines. Okay, so what I'm looking for is line 2. Okay, so when I click on this so it shows me that I'm actually working on this. Okay, so I'm just going to just then select this, and then I want the rectangle. Let me select the rectangle. So there's a rectangle, and then I'm also going to select so hold shift, sorry, not shift, control rather. I'm still holding shift. Okay, so control, so the rectangle, this rectangle, and then the line 2. Okay, control, not shift. Okay, shift is going to select all. Okay, and then we need out of the accounts linked. Okay, so which is this? So I also control this 2. Okay, and then control C, control V, and then I'm going to move it down. Okay, so let's check the distance from here. Okay, so while holding on Alt, okay, so 19. So I'm going to do same to this. So 19 plus 3, then accounts linked. Okay, so Alt 19. So it's now 13. So I'm going to change it to 19. So with the down arrow, I'm going to so 19, and which is okay. Okay. So we have to change this text to more options. I'm going to change here to more options. More options. Options. Then we did more options. Let's see the. So we have share contact and then QR code. Okay. So just Control C, Control V. Bring this here. Firstly, let me check the gap or the distance here. So 25. I'm also going to ensure here is 25. So it's 34 now. So just use the up arrow key. 25. Okay, so it's now 25, and then it's going to be called the share contacts. Okay, so share contacts. Share. Is it share contacts? Share. Yeah, share contacts. Okay. Share contacts. The next one is Control C, Control V. So I'm going to move it down. Okay, so I'm holding Alt. Okay, so 19. I'm going to give you a 19 to 19, and then it's going to be called QR code. So QR code. QR code. Let's see how it was. QR code. Okay, so this should be our final work. I can take this out now. Okay, so I can take the rulers out now, and then I can preview it. Seems the gap is too much. Okay, so we can decide to follow that, and let's see. So let me just give them enough gap or spacing. I'm going to leave it this way. Let me hold Alt and C. So for me, I use 27. So okay, so depending on what you want to achieve, you can just try that. Okay, so this is our final project, and then you can decide to preview it. Okay, so let's wait for it to load the preview. So this is our final project. Not our final, this is the first screen that we just worked on, and then I think this is too bold, it's too thick for me, so I can change it to, let me change to semi. So let me do it semi bold. Okay, so I think I like it this way, and then I think the changes. Okay, so it's affected the changes. Okay, so thank you guys for being part of today's session, and then I hope to see you in the other lessons. So thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to the continuation of our previous lesson. Okay, so our previous lesson we learned to create a contact information screen, as you see here. So today what I'll be doing will be learning to create my contact home. So this screen is what we'll be doing today. Okay, so that said, we would have to go to our Figma project. Okay, so remember we did this, and then we have to just add a new screen. Okay, so I can just go here, okay, to the frame, click on frame, and then since we use this, I'm just going to select this. This was what we used. Okay, I have to position it well, so let me just bring it down. Okay, so okay, so now would have to, let's see what we have to do now. So we'll have to do that of the text, and then this profile or avatar. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, so that said, I'm just going to have to copy this, Control C, Control V, and then I'll move it here. And let me see if it's the same. Okay, so I'm going to have to reduce this. Let me first change to my home. Is it my home? So sorry, my contacts. Okay, so my contacts, I can change it to my contacts. Contacts. Okay. And then I'm going to give it a size of let's say 24. So 24. Okay, so 24 is okay. Let me see. This was 36. This was 24. So 24. Okay, so let's just do it 36. Okay, so just leave it as 36. Okay, so let me see the distance 24, 38. So hold on alt and let me see. So there's 26. So I'm going to make it with a arrow key, left arrow key. I'm going to shift it to 24, and then it's already 38 at the top. Okay, then now we would have to do that of the profile. Okay, so the profile is I think 40 by 40. The avatar 40 by 40. Okay, so I can just Control C this, Control C, Control V, then bring it here. I can change the size here to 40, 40 by 40. Okay, then just try to align it here. Let me see the distance. So here is 35. Okay, so alt, so 40. I'm going to change it to, so it's 40. So with the right arrow key, I'm going to move it to 35. Okay, so this is quite okay. And then we'll do that of the search bar. Okay, so with the search bar, we'll have to use the rectangle tool. Then I'm going to draw here, and then I'll give it a radius of let me see what radius was used. So the radius should be 12 pixels. Okay, so 12. So I'll go do so sorry for that. I'll have to change the radius to 12. Okay, 12 is not that okay. So let's see. Let's check out the heights first. So the height is 40, the width is okay 40, 327. So 40 for the height, and then here 3 2 3 2. What is this? 327. Okay, so that's right. Okay, just try and center it. Okay, and then the color is white, so I'm going to give it a white color background. Okay, and then if you look closely, you see that it has a drop shadow. Okay, so a drop shadow. So I would go to, let's just see how. So a drop shadow. So in our effects panel or effect section, I'm going to click here. The drop shadow is already selected, so I'll click on this. Then let me see what happens. Okay, let me use a blur. Let me use it 5, and then I'll set my Y to 0. Okay. So I'm going to increase the blur, or let's increase the spread a bit. So let's do it. Okay, so what I did was I changed my Y to 2 so that we have the shadow most beneath. Okay, and then my blur was set to 12. Now if you study carefully, you'll notice that the distance here is 23. Okay, so I can still stretch it. So let me just use Alt. Okay, and then I'm going to use the left arrow key to move it. So I get 23. Okay. And then the distance, so I'm going to have to stretch this. And then let me hold Alt and then check to 26. Okay. 26 is okay because here what's happening? Okay, sorry for that. So here, okay, can you click here and check it's 25. So just leave it to mine is 26 and here's 23. We'll leave it this way. Now what we can do is take this. So now we would have to do that of the search icon. So the search icon, I'm just going to have to select this. Remember we picked this on the previous lesson, and then I'm going to give it a color value of let me click on the fill property here, and I'll give it this ash or gray color. Okay, let's see the size, 21 by 21. So I can just change it here, 21 by 21. Okay, then I'm going to move it inside here, so it's okay. So the distance is 24. So okay, so then move it back so that gets 24. Okay, and then we'll have to type the hints. So the hints is search by name or number. Search by name or number. We'll just have to select this. Okay, Control C, and then I'll paste it inside. Control V. Wait, what happened? Okay, now I'm going to change it to search by name or contact. Search by name or contact or number rather, or number. Search by number. I'm going to move it here. Okay, and then it seems to be centered, and then let me check. Okay, so 15, so the distance is 15. Okay, so 15, so let's do that. Alt, so we have to, I'm going to set to 15. Okay, 15. Okay, so we are done with this. Then let's preview it and see. So let me change here to contact. Is it my contact home? So let's just do it home. So home. Then you can preview it now. Okay, so there's the preview for the first screen and then the preview for the second screen. Okay, so thank you. See you in the next lesson. Okay, so hello everyone. So welcome to the continuation of our previous lesson. That's for our my home contact screen. Okay, so there's what we were able to do in our previous lesson. So now today we will be doing this. Okay, so we'll try and finish up with this. Okay, so that's it. Let's get started. So first we'll do the recent, and then we just have to do some images. Okay, but what I would have to do is what I did was to go to Pixabay Okay, in our previous lesson, I showed you how to copy. Okay, so just go to Pixabay and then just copy, okay, the image. So use copy, right click and then copy image. After copying, you will just have to come to your working environment and then Control V or right click and then paste it here. Okay, so this is what I've pasted. Okay, so let's do that of the avatar or the profile face. Okay, so to do that, we've already learned that. So the ellipse tool, so I'm just going to do one example and then the rest will be an assignment for you. Okay, so the ellipse, then I'm going to hit on shift, draw. Okay, then let's pick this animal or this image. Let me send this to back, so right click, and then if I do it this way, okay, it won't work. Okay, so right click and then use as mask. Okay, so it didn't work, so Control Z. Let me undo. So I have to send this behind. Okay, so right click, then send to back. Okay, then let me highlight all, so you can see I've highlighted a circle and then this image, and then right click, and then I'll use as mask. Okay, so now we have it. Okay, so even with this, try to position it anywhere you want in the image. Okay, so you can do that for the others. Okay, so I'm done with mine, and then I'm going to resize it. So I'm going to use 39 by 39, 39 by 39. Okay, then I'll do same for this. Okay, and then do for the last one here. Okay, so we can just move it here, move them here. So now let's see what we have to do. We would have to do that of the text for recent, and then this. Okay, so let me see the distance. So 34. Okay, so 34. So let me bring you here. Then I'll hold Alt and then the distance. Okay, so the distance is 65. I'm going to change to 34. So with the up arrow key, okay, let's take it up so you get 34. Okay, so that rather should be for the recent rather. Okay, so the recent, not the image. So what I'll do is just to copy this. Okay, I'll copy this, Control C, or let me see, it's normal, the style is normal, you need to normal. Okay, and then the size is 14 pixels. Okay, so you need to normal. So let me just use this, Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to move it here. Okay, so just leave it as regular. I don't think I have normal here, so I'll leave it as regular. And then I'm going to type recent. I hope the spelling is okay. Recent, recent. Okay, so there's no S after the E. So recent here. So I would have to change this to semi-bold, or better still, let's give it this value. Okay, so the mobile is semi-bold. Okay, and then it's 20. So let me do this also 20. semi bold, and I will give you 20. Okay, so I'm just going to enter 20. Okay, I'm going to use this vertical ruler. Okay, I want our distance to align at this point. Okay, so this okay, and then what we can do is just to copy this, Control C. Let's hold Shift and then copy the two, Control C, Control V. Then we're going to move it here. Okay, so any name. So let's see what we have for our so recent, and we have the name and then the contacts, and then we have some ellipse and then a divider. Okay, so we'll have to do that. So give any name here. So I'm going to use bright. So bright, and then we'll just move this image here. So let's check the distance. Okay, so there's some 10. Okay, so it's actually in a box, in a shape. Okay, so what you can do, you can use the rectangle to then just draw here, from here to here. Okay, and then its size is 375. Height is 60. Height is 60. So the height is 60. So height 375. Okay. What is happening? Okay, so let me just stretch it here, and then I can just highlight all of this. Okay, so highlight this, these. Let's bring it here. Then I'm going to right click and then bring to front. Okay, then we'll just take it back. Okay, so its color is white, so just change it to white. Now we would need a divider. Okay, or let's start with this. Let's do that of this. But first, okay, so let me see here. Then I'll bring bright here, and then take another ruler here. So I want bright to start just at where the contact starts. Okay, then I also bring you here. Okay, so I'm going to have to use Alt and then see the distance here. Let's see the distance from the recent. Okay, recent to the shape is 12. So 12 pixels. Okay, so let me see recent. Hold Alt and then check that. So it's 9 here. So I'm going to take it down till I get 12. Okay, so now 12. Okay, and then Alt. Okay, so I think this is okay. Okay, so if we look here, you would see we have the 3 ellipses or the more icon. So I'm going to have to just select this icon, Control C, Control V, then bring it here. Okay, we can just give it some degrees here. So I use 90, and then it's position itself to be a horizontal. Okay, not vertical. Now I would have to change its color to this gray color. Okay, then let's see, and I'm trying to center it here. So I think it's been here. So okay, I'll check the distance. So let's see the distance. It seems to be at the edge of this. So let's see here. Or let me use the ruler. Okay. Okay, so I think it's perfect. Okay, so that should be it for this part. Okay, so the only thing we are left with is let me just group, or let's just leave it this way. Okay, we'll continue populating the list as you have here. Okay, so there's a list view. So we'll populate it, and then we'll do that of the floating action button, and then we are done. Okay, so thank you, and then see you in the next lesson. Okay, so hello everyone. So welcome to today's session. Okay, so we'll continue with where we left. Okay, where we left off. So you can see here, I really don't like the distance between the recent and then this whole section or UI. So I'm going to the project, then let me just highlight these. So one, so multi-select with the help of the shapes key, then you select, and I'll do that for the shape here. So I'm going to take it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's see the gap. So alt, and then so I use 20 now. I think it should be 22. So let me do it 22. So I'm going to take it down. Okay, so 22 is okay. So let's preview it. Okay, so I think it's quite okay now. Okay, and then let me see here. Let me see this font. So this font is normal. You need to 12. So here is okay. So I'll change this to 12. Okay, it's still you need to normal. So let's use regular. Okay, so this okay. Okay, so this okay, and let me see the name here. Okay, let me multi-select it, and I'm going to bring them down. Okay, so they are quiet. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm just going to multi-select it again. Okay, and then we are just going to Control V. With the help of the shift key, I'll bring it down. But let me group. Okay, so right click and then group selection. So now they become one object and then they move together. Okay, so what you just have to do is I'm going to take this out. Let me replace it with this guy. So I'm just going to take you out, delete, and then I'll replace you with this guy. Okay, so it seems to position well. Here, let me give it some gap, 1, 2. Then here too, let me give it some gap, 1, 2. Okay. Now I have this, so these are grouped. Okay, excluding this. So I would have to group it again, or better still, let me ungroup and then I'll group. So I'll regroup. Let me change the name here to bright data. Okay, then I'm going just to group, Control G, and then let's see we need to have a divider. Okay, so if you look here, we have a divider here. So a divider. Okay, so I think it's just 1 point. Let me just do that. So a divider, we are going to use the line tool. Okay, so the line, and I'm going to select draw from here. Okay, and then while holding on shift, I'm just going to drag to here. Let's see if that's what we have. Okay, okay. It's gray, so I have to change it from black to gray. Okay, so this okay. Okay, so the stroke is 1. Okay, so this okay, but let's see, it's supposed to be here. So alt and then here. So I'm going to move it up. Okay, so this okay. Sorry. So now we can just control, or let me just Control C, Control V, and then bring it down to the base of this. So let me see the base. Okay, so I'm going to take this up. Then let's see. Okay, so it's perfect. Now let's just group this. Let me ungroup this. I have to ungroup it. And then I'm going to group the two. Okay, Control G. Okay, so now we have them as one object. So let's check here and see the distance. Okay, so the distance from here, so from this, so this is 10, so 10. So let's do that. So 10. I'm just going to select and then hold Alt. Okay, so 10. Take it up. Okay, so it's now 10. Okay, so this is okay. Let's preview it here. Okay, so you can decide to change the values. Okay, so the name and then the you can decide to change it. So just one last one. So I'm just going to Control C, Control V. Take what happened. C, Control V. Let's just Alt. So it's supposed to be 10. So I'm going to take it up. Okay, and then we just have to change this image. Okay, so I'll bring this image here. And I can just bring it here. Okay. Okay, so now we have this. So what we are going to do, I'll change this to Momoman. Okay, so now we have this contacts. Okay, so as usual, we are just going to select the recent here. So Control C, Control V. With the help of the Shift key, I'm just going to move it down. The down arrow key. Okay, so the Shift key, while holding on Shift and then the down arrow key, the Shift key will help it move faster. If I should use the down arrow key, it will just move slowly, but Shift moves it faster. Okay. So let me see the distance used here, or the so 12 was used. So let's do same, or better still. Yeah, okay, so 12 Alt. Okay, so I'm going to take it down. 12. I'm going to change it to contacts. I think he used contacts. So contacts. Contacts. Okay. Okay, so you can use Control plus to zoom in, Control minus to zoom out. Okay, with the keyboard plus the combination of keys, Control plus and Control minus. Okay. So now what we have to do is just do this. Okay, so A. Okay, so now let's see. Let me see the distance from here. So here is from here to 34. Okay, so 34. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, Control V, and then bring it down. Okay. Oops. Okay, I didn't group this. Okay, so let me just Control C this, Control V, and also bring it down. And then what I'll do, Next is change the name to, okay, okay, and then would change here, would add an A, so alphabet. Okay, so there's actually another shape here. Okay, so 2118. So control minus, and I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay, so rectangle. So its distance from the contact is 9. Okay, so 9 pixels. Okay, so I'm just going to, let me first move these ones. Okay, so alt. Okay, so 9, I'm going to move it down so I get 9. Okay, 9. Okay, then the color is white, so change to white. Think there's an A, so an A, let me see the size, 14 pixels, no need to normal. Okay, so 14 pixels, no need to normal. So let's use this rather, Control C, Control V, I'll put it inside. Okay, so right click, arrange, and then bring to front. And let me send this to back. Right click on the shape here, and then send to back. Okay, so send to back is going to take a long, so I'll just send this. I rather use send backward, so let's use send to back. Okay. Okay, so now it's in front of it. So A. So an A here is 20. Lesson is what? It's 14 normal. So let's change it to 14. 14 normal. So I'll use regular. Okay. Alright, let's make it bold. Okay, I'm going to make it bold, semi-bold. Okay, so semi-bold is okay. So our distance should be 9. Let's center it first. So let me just move this guy. Okay, so in order to center our alphabet here, I'm going to have to just highlight it. So click this and then click on the shape. Okay, so multi-select it. Then we are going to use the align vertical centers. Okay, so you can see now it's centered. Then I'm going to move it to the edge. Okay, let's see. Okay, so a few pixels. Okay. Okay, so this is our alphabet. And then let me see. Okay, so this is quite okay. And let me check. Okay, so yeah, it's at the edge. Then let's see the distance now. So now the distance for this alphabet to this box, okay, or this shape. Okay, so let's do that. It's 5 pixels. So let me just highlight this and then hold Alt and then check. Okay, so we use 53. So let's take it up. Okay, with the help of the up arrow key, I'm going to take it up. So reach 5. Okay, so that's it. Okay, and then let's preview it and see. Okay, so interesting. So now we'll check. So we have to do, okay, so I'm just going to duplicate it. Let me just duplicate this. Control C, Control V. Then I'm just going to bring it down. First, let me check the distance. Let's see, let me see here. So 10. So I'm going to do that here too should be 10. So Alt. So it's 27. So let's do it 10. Okay. Then from there we have the B. Okay, so B. So as usual, we are just going to multi-select this, or I can even group it. Okay, so let me just group these two. Okay, so they are highlighted group. Then Control C, Control V. Then I'm going to bring it down. Then I'll change here to B. To B. Okay. Then I'll check the distance. Okay, so let's check the distance here. Okay, so there seems to be no gap. They're just closed. Okay. So let's just take it up. Okay, and then just Control C, Control V this, then bring it down. Oh, what happened? Delete it. Okay, so this seems to be close. Okay, so we are just going to be joining them together. Okay, then we'll do that for this guy too. Control C, Control V, take it down. Let me see the distance. Okay, if you notice, you would see that we actually haven't picked the shape. Okay, the entire shape, but it's not an issue. We can just still use our eyes to gauge. Okay, so I'm just going to select this. Control C, Control V. Then let me check here. We don't have the divider, so we'll just do that of the divider. Okay, so with the divider, just Control C, Control V this, and then I'm going to bring it down. It should be just some distance. Okay, so this should be okay. If I should check, let me take it up small. Okay, then I'll do Control C, Control V, take it down. So this okay, and then let's check from here and see. Okay, so just two of them. So A, B, do we have C? So just A and B. So 1, 2, 3. So B, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now what I would have to do is the floating action button, and then we are done. So the floating action button. So I think there's C here. Okay. So with the C, we can just Control C, Control V, then bring them down. Oh, it's not that. Let's just delete it. We'll just do that of the floating action button. So I'm going to bring it here. Then I'll way. Okay. If we preview it, okay, so that should be it. We are not going to add this color. Okay, we are not going to do the same like the coloring. Okay, just leave it this way, and then that should be it for our final project. Okay, so thank you for watching, and remember to change the names accordingly. Okay, so thank you.